Good morning, our people. Welcome to the program. We definitely miss you guys somewhat next week, even though some of you were interacting with us online. We miss you one on one like we normally do. So, welcome. I hope your Christmas or your holidays going as planned. Hopefully you're staying safe. We hear about all the kidnappings and all the evils going on in our land. That by the grace of God, if we do the right thing, we'll fix it. But if you continue to pretend like the problem is not there and pretend there's a savior, an emperor coming to save you, then that means you're not ready to do what it takes for us to get back to our baseline, which is living okay, taking care of our children, going to work, and not worrying about being kidnapped. So, welcome. As usual, please help us to share and like and follow and subscribe and all those fancy things that we need to do just for our people to get information. Good job last week. Last week we get a lot of people that came in and learned a lot, and we get a lot of feedback. So our people are actually getting it. It took hundreds of years for this brain damage to occur. So we are not expecting it to be fixing, in a snap of a finger. It may take years for this brain, damage to begin to heal and begin to receive the information that it needs to process. So thank you, viewers. Thank you for asking the right questions. Thank you for flowing off. Thank you for being sincere as to what you don't know and what you need to know. So that's where it starts. So welcome to the program. My name is Mona Saga, and I am here in Houston, Texas.
Thank you so much, Sister Mona. I hope I'm coming out. Thank you, our viewers. We appreciate you, like my sister has already said. You being out all the time. Those that are finding us for the first time, thank you so much. You have just stumbled on a very informative video, and you get all the information that you will not be able to get somewhere else, where they try to use lies and propaganda to brainwash our people. We will tell you as it is here. And if you have questions, please drop in the comments, and somebody will respond to you, or we will respond to you eventually. So we thank you so much. My name is Dr. AP Simon Okuba. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Help us to share, like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere, because you'll get the information you need for this assignment that we need to complete, because we are in the concluding phase. We are not beginning, we are finishing up. So if you are not yet in tune to what is going on and what's the work being done, I said time is running out. This is when to come in and understand. We have other videos also, because sometimes some people will try to make each session to be like complete, so that if you stumble on one video, you get all, by the time you watch from the beginning to the end, you always have an idea of all that has been going on. However, there are certain topics you still need to go back to our website and YouTube and Facebook to pick more information that will help you be part of what we are doing. Thank you so much. Please share and like while we do the same thing.
Yes, definitely share and subscribe and do all those things. So give me a minute. I'm sharing while you're doing the same. We definitely welcome our viewers to our program. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. Like we said, we are all partners, we are all stakeholders in what we're doing. There is no emperor. What you have is a bunch of people that want more for their people, that wants to do more, that want people to live their best life. So it's not that complicated. It's only those that are still stuck with elebe a na-ebinye aka ebe esere mmadụ. With all their PhD, they are still singing elebe a na-ebinye aka ebe esere mmadụ, like the in elementary school. And we are offering a superior argument to say that we have passed that stage. We are no longer at that level. We need to do better for ourselves. For the sake of our children, we must hurry up with this project and get it to its fruition. We don't have time to waste. As we are speaking, your so-called fake election or selection is coming up, and we know how that's going to end up. You will never, no president, no one, because we don't even want to focus on one candidate. Then some people will say, oh, you don't like this person. No, what we're saying is that not even Jesus Christ, like you have heard before, will come and rule you with this constitution and you will be okay. So it's not a matter of who is ruling and who is in charge. and who's doing what. No, we are saying that not even Jesus Christ. So we've already bypassed your so-called presidential candidates. We're saying not even Jesus can rule you with this constitution and you have the life that you desire. So we are of the opinion that we need to move and do what is right so we can lay the right foundation. Once we lay the right foundation, we'll put things in place where even if you're sleeping, just like in the United States, they can arrest you if you're a president. So even if we are sleeping, even if we're not paying attention, the things that we'll put in place will guide everyone to do the right thing because there's consequences for every action that you take. So that's all we're saying. We are not against anyone. We're not here for publicity stunt or for popularity. No, we're saying that we want more for our people and we have found the right way to set that foundation so that we can live the life that we so desire. So, like our topic goes, walking out of slavery and walking into freedom. That's it. We want you to leave the slave camp. It's over. We need to go. We need to go. We need to do better for ourselves. So, walking into freedom. And as God, we have a new year to get everything right, to do the things that we desire so much, to be intentional and strategic about our moves. Continue to help us to share. According to BVI Channel 1, he said by agreeing to make the Unitary 1999 Constitution, their sense of misguided patriotism made them create a monster that we see as a federal government to unify their so-called one Nigeria. The one Nigeria that have caused us to leave our homes and live in diaspora, and we're there. We can change our dollar to naira and we'll buy the whole village. When was the last time you saw an American in Omahia bragging? I live in Omahia. Here's my passport. My dear, 419, we need to wake up. When all these things are going on, we discovered that instead of unity, we produce disunity because of the intensity of the struggle to control the center. This is according to one of the slave masters, the internal colonizers, Ben Nwabweze, the ones that benefited by keeping us into their pockets. They had Ranyikose, Caprodo, they took us to the market, Bosanye there and sold us to the highest bidder. And they're still enjoying into their 90s. This class of made in Nigeria quack, when I say quack, I want you to capitalize it. Quack constitutional lawyers handed over the indigenous people's sovereignty, authority, and resources to the external and the internal colonizers. They locked off fidelists, Islamic extremists, Sharia fundamentalists, and Republicans in one jar. Put Mogri, my salad, my steak, you put them in one jar. The last time I like ogri in certain things, I definitely don't want it with steak. Somebody put it in one jar and tell you that it will taste good. They stuff us all in and tell us they are producing democracy. What a monumental failure. Through their actions, these hatchet men helped Ahmadi Bello to fulfill his mission, his battle script, and they were handsomely rewarded for being a willing tool. Unfortunately, a deadly trick was played on us. It has resulted in a whole lot of us sliding into and continue to dwell in darkness as we speak. We can't get out of it. We are running in circles. We don't even know what's going on. We think that if someone from our village become the president, all will be well. That's how elementary our brain is functioning. That if somebody that we know that has similar name shows up at the scene, things will be well. So given what we know, expecting these insensitive, unrepentant, selfish people and their cronies to be part of the complex strategy mix required to successfully bind these monstrous strongmen they have created in order for us to retrieve the stolen sovereignty of the ethnic nation, it will be a total waste of time. Why? It will require them to forfeit everything they have stolen. It will require them to forfeit the lifestyle they are used to. It will require them to forfeit the benefit of selling their brothers and sisters. And the worst part of this, as they are telling us, they are encouraging the youth to be, singing their names. One of my husband's friends told him that the only benefit they got from their brother being a governor is the siren. Every time siren would be sounding in their head because he's coming into town. None of them did anything to benefit us. So they will get a couple of youths, give them noise making tools, give them gun to kill, give them all these things. And now you can see in our land, all the guns the politicians have been giving away. Only a group, this group will come and give out their own, this group will come and give out their own. And then you have the criminal people claiming they're bringing us Biafra, giving out their own. Before you know it, criminality is everywhere. We don't know who is anymore. So it is now a special responsibility of those of us whose children are being destroyed to step up and do the needful. Hence, the birth of the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. That is the only way. Because if you vote Jesus Christ of Nazareth into your election, he will come and swear on the day that he's going to protect and bind and defend and do all of these things to that constitution. You have sold your life away for another 4 years of hopelessness. It's sad. We know that NINAS has declared a union dispute bordering on the sovereignty questions arising from the illegitimacy and fraudulence of the imposed unitary constitution of the distressed and hijacked Federation of Nigeria. They have given us a 5-point agenda of the constitutional force majeure, which outline an orderly process, a framework by which the original constituent members, with their constitution-making mandate, could regain authority and control over their present and future existence. It's not that complicated. So we need those at the level of Eleba na Ebinyaka, Ebesere Mado, to please bounce. We have serious matter on the table. So if you're still at that level, with all your education, with all your big man and everything else that you're doing, and you don't understand that if you don't fix the foundation, that the house will be falling on top of your head. So today, we'll talk about how we can subdue these monstrous strongmen, perhaps will them into external banishment because they are still in our land. They will give the likes of Flavor money to be singing. They will sing with the name of our oppressors and we will be dancing. This is New Year. And okay, this, that, you will be dancing. They will be praising them and the rest of them. We need to do better because they are all criminal partners. The musicians, the Nollywood actress and actors, all of them, everyone benefiting from our sufferings will not want it to end because they have learned from the likes of Mabweze. You keep your people down, you lift yourself up. So we need to bali your sister. We need to bali your sister. Take it from here and run. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, my dear. We need to run. And like I said earlier on, we're in the final phase of this work. And that's why there's mobilization, because that's the final phase. We'll try to break down in another show, we'll give you the breakdown, because like we keep saying, what we're doing is something that was carefully researched. People that have brain in their skull sat down, did the research for years to understand what is happening to us. My people will say, or they will say, na onye amara ebe mmiri bido wee mabia agaghị ama ebe ọ kọrọ ya. That's if you don't know where the rain started, you won't know where it stopped. So that's why it's important for careful research. My sister will play a video for us so that we can understand, give ourselves the theme, where we're going. That video kind of summarizes everything that we'll say eventually. So that, like we said, you will understand how everything is connected. Some people are seeing the leg of elephant, some people are seeing the tusk, some people are seeing the tail, some people are seeing the front. But on this show, we will bring everything together for you, connect it together, because we have done our researches and we are still doing research. before we come for each show. That's why we don't have 20 shows in a week. One show would have researched through the week to get all the information you need at one spot. That is what it takes us. Please go ahead, assistant.
The strategic objective in all of that is to find a way to drag us to election at a time we're saying we can't go to election on account of rejecting the constitution that we don't want anymore. And so when this, when this presidential candidate is thrown at some southerner and they quietly converge in the PDP, we hear today again that some of the leading candidates have all stepped down, the Tambuwal and who else was in the fold of Mohammed, whatever. There are 3-4 candidates that have already stepped down for Atiku, the Fulani. And so the PDP ticket will be in the hand of a Fulani man. And the rest of the Caliphate North will rally everybody they can rally according to the explanation of Tambuwal so that they will win the power. But the APC ticket being dumped, the empty APC ticket being dumped on somebody from the South, that could be Tinubu, that could be Amechi, that could be Jonathan, if what we read on the internet begins to prove true. It will just be a matter of pretending that there has been an electoral contest, but the Caliphate already determined the outcome because they control the electoral machinery in INEC 100%. So, I mean, at what point they've shown you where the figures are, where the demographics, converge and how they're going to work around it to take. So, the purpose of this, broadcast is to let those from the South and the Middle Belt who are not listening now to know that the Caliphate, those who are holding us hostage, in bondage, and who want to save that constitution by going to election under it, at the time we say we can't go to election anymore to renew the life of that constitution, are only playing all their cards to get us to that election. And so if you are one of those, whether you are in PDP or APC, going towards that, the end point, the day after, the morning after the election is that another Fulani man will have won election legitimately. 4 years added to the one they have now, and the conquest will continue towards us, against us. So let it be clear to all. Let nobody say they thought they will win. There's no possibility of any of you winning. Anybody from the South or the Middle Belt who is going to purchase form to be president of Nigeria knows in his heart of hearts that he stands no chance to win. He's only playing the role of Judas code to help drag all of us to that election to validate the process the Caliphate desperately wants. They all have one skeleton or the other in the cupboard for which they want, instead of going to address the issues that have come to consume the Nigerian Union itself, they are busy validating the process that have been predetermined. Every other thing is just a show, window dressing, make believe. The question of the ticket of the party that will win if we get to election is settled on their side. So they're in control of the two machineries. They're in control of the two parties so that they can put whoever they choose. You saw their convention and how it ended up with a list they had to generate in one corner. So all of those who are standing around, they're just validating the process by which the Caliphate will want, struggling to save that constitution. But we are just letting them know that we see what's going on, and no matter what they do, whether they get to the election or they crumble before they get to the election, or they crumble at the election, or they even get to voting stage and swearing in somebody, this onslaught against the 1999 Constitution is only going to be further intensified. Nobody is going to be permitted or allowed to govern Nigeria on the basis of that fraud. We have a whole year now to go and sort out the matter, or we get ready for sorting it out on the street when those who are at the receiving end will say they can't take it. And it's not a fight against Fulani or Caliphate. It will be a fight first against the people from the Alliance territory, from the South and the Middle Belt, who have been waving this party flag when their peers from the North are waving ethnic flag. That's what's going on. The the Caliphate politicians are waving their regional flag. Our own, renegade elements pretending to be politicians are waving party flag. And they just laugh at all of them because they don't even know the big game that is being played. We are telling those from the South and Middle Belt who are involved, no matter their party, whether it's ABGA or APC or PDP or Youth Party or Mega Party, the type of Tommy and Co are trying to put together, Third Force, all those things are just validating, because as long as they all subscribe, all the parties subscribe to the 1999 Constitution, that's where it ends for us. Anybody who is prepared to support an election that will, that will renew the life of that Constitution is the enemy that the people of the South and Middle Belt are looking for. Let it be very clear to them so that they don't come to tell us, oh, we didn't understand it. That's what you are doing. We are at war in which represents an existential threat against us. And we have a chance to escape to safety. What you are doing is roadblock to that safety by dragging us to election in the manner that we have been drafted to do. Let the word be enough for the wise.
Like we keep saying, not even Jesus Christ of Nazareth will win the election and your life will change. You will be running in circles. And it will be a deadly circle. Sorry about that. It would be a deadly circle, because before we used to run in circle, but at least we weren't afraid of jihadists coming to our town and terrorists taking over and criminals all over. You'll be suffering, toiling and suffering. But now you're even afraid of your life. You're afraid. You can't go here, you can't go there. Is that bad that people are lodging in hotels all over Lagos and they don't want to go home? That's how bad it is. That's the remedy of the people you guys are listening to. We keep telling you guys, even those in diaspora, a lot of them don't care about you. They want to come to America and sit in a car and show you how big their houses and how big their cars are and how well their children are doing. They don't care about you. And then they want to come and show you their brand new car they brought to Nigeria, and they're lodging in big hotels and having fun. They don't have any idea on how to solve this problem. They don't care. So every time there is a problem, they will figure a way to still come and show you guys their wealth and go back. And we're telling you guys there is a way out. Don't let those in diaspora deceive you. They don't know their left from right. They have programmed their brain to clock in and clock out and make money and work overtime. When it comes to you getting your livelihood, they don't know anything about it. They may give you some dollar to change, and it will be a lot, and you think they love you. They don't know how to save themselves, talk less of you. Go and join Nina's. Go understand what Nina is telling you, so that you don't have to wait for Onwa to come back for you to have light in your compound. Go ahead, my sister.
Thank you so much, Sister Mona. So people will say, so how did they start? Because we like telling you how it started. They'll give you the progression and tell you this where we are at this point in time. And because for you to walk out of slavery and walk into freedom, you need to understand how the slavery started. You need to understand what it represents. Where did it start from? Sorry, before this one, there's declaration, because you said that how it started is Ahmadu Bello's 1960 declaration. When we say how it started, we know the colonialism and everything. We know all that. We know that. But we told you that what our people call independence is fake independence. That at independence, the colonial masters did not give us freedom, did not give us independence. They just handed us over. From them, they are the external colonizers to internal colonizers. And the person in charge of that internal colonization was making a statement to his people, the people he will work with. And he said, the new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our great grandfather, Othman Dan Fodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. So when you hear his children saying, oh, that these people cannot lead them,
Because they are born to rule.
because they are born to rule, because that's the instruction that has been given to them. This is a declaration, 1960 declaration by Ahmadu Bello. Ahmadu Bello. He said, we use the minorities of the North as willing tools. The Middle Belt now, when they were carving them into North, they didn't understand what it was. But what they mean, they carve them there so there will be minority of the North. So they will use them. And the South as a conquered territory. The entire South is conquered. This instruction he was giving to his people. He said, never allow them to rule over us. Are you not seeing it playing out? And never allow them to have control over their future. So this is where our issue now comes. Because according to the 2007 United Nations Declaration for Indigenous Peoples' Rights, we are supposed to be in control of our future as a people, as nations, whatever nation, indigenous people, we ought to be in control of our life, our present, our future, everything. So far, the land we are living on is the ancestral land that is connected to us. And United Nations call it self-determination. And they say that this self-determination, nobody gives it to you. It is the people's right. It is your right. All you do is organize yourself and exercise it. But you need to organize yourself. So that's when you see Ninas talking, teaching us how to organize ourselves in a right way, because there is a right process, how you will need to do it and get it right. So if you get it right, you will get the outcome, the right outcome that you're looking for. But if you don't get it right, you will die and kill yourselves for nothing. So in this first slide, we have told you, we are telling you the beginning of this present slavery that we are finding ourselves. Then in 1960, like we said, Ahmadu Bello made declaration for his people, and they began work immediately because he has told them, this Nigeria, this is this, this is it. They are not listening to what you are saying. They are listening and paying attention to what their master told them, and they are carrying it on till today. In 1966, there was a toppling of the 5 regional constitutions and the true federalism that we thought we were building as a people. Nigeria is a negotiated entity. Our people negotiated Nigeria and said that because of our ethnic diversity, because we are different peoples, because we are different nations coming together, like you have the European Union, we have our kingdoms and nations, not tribes, because I hate when ignorant people call us tribes. We were never tribes. We were nations. Igbo nation, Ijaw nation, Yoruba nation, Ichekiri. We had our own government, had our own system of economics, had our system of banking, had our system of living, social system, everything. So we were nations, we were independent, but we came together to build this negotiated entity that is supposed to be called Nigeria. As a result, we had 5 regions, and each of these 5 regions had their own constitution, independent. So for federalism, for union to happen, our people came together and said, okay, we will now bring this constitution and then leave, just like they're doing in America. America has up to 50 states. These states operate like nations. If America can do it, why can't we do it? Is it that we can't think? No, we can think. Those that are making us look as if we're not thinking, we can think. And as days go by, you will see that we are able to think. So what these people did was to scatter, destroy this true federalism. And then in that chaos, our people in the Southeast, they started killing our people. because that's the instruction they gave to them, that you must not allow them to escape. You must not allow them to be in charge of their lives. Our people say we want to be in charge of our life. This is not what we agreed to. This is not what we agreed to. They killed our people. That's when 1967-70 Biafra genocide happened. And to today, they're still trying to sweep it under the table, under the rug. They talk about Holocaust, Israeli Holocaust, even till now. That happened before Biafra genocide. They're still talking about it. They talk about Rwanda genocide, but they refuse to mention Biafra genocide. That tells you that something is underground, something is cooking. As that finished, the next thing they did was, as they conquered Biafra, because those that are telling you, oh, no victor, no vanquish, that's a lie. They conquered Biafra, but they didn't conquer Biafra alone. They sold lies and propaganda to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world came, gave them ammunition, formed alliance against the Biafra entity, and conquered through hunger. It wasn't through military, it was through hunger. They killed our children, they starved our children, and they committed wickedness that has not been recorded anywhere in the world. They did that to beat us down. And then when they finished, they now began to divide states. You see, the state they divided, they didn't divide it to strengthen the people. The way they divide, that's what we call it balkanization, not division. Like you see Ogoni, some will be in this state, some will be in this state. Eka people, some will be in this state, some will be in this state. And that Igbos. Then you have all the people, they just, if you go to the north, it's the same thing everywhere. That means these people were playing the script of the colonial masters. Because if you check what happened in Nigeria, it happened some other places. So they kept doing that. Why do they want to do that? So that they can divide and conquer you. If you are with your brother living together under one state, it's very difficult for anybody to conquer you. But when they divide you like that, you become a minority where you find yourself.
Yep.
Igbos in Edo, for instance, become minority in Edo state. So they will never have a voice. Then, sorry?
No, I said yes.
Mm-hmm. So middle belt, they are a minority in the north. So you will never have a voice. So the people lost their voice. So that some of these are people in Midwest and South Side and say, oh, let's leave Nigeria because in Nigeria we will have a voice. You don't have a voice. They make you think that you have a voice. You don't have a voice. You can't do anything. You can't produce a president. Have you seen that when they're talking about producing president, they don't mention you? They mention Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. Even Igbo can't even produce one, let alone you that you're a minority. So the essence of state division is to make everyone a political minority, and you're not able to produce anything together. As that was going on, because we're telling you step by step, because every day as we continue in this Nigeria as is presently constituted, we get deeper and deeper into slavery. So in 1979, they now codified our land, our resources, and trying to punish Igbo for even trying to fight war. They now seized everybody's resources.
Yep.
Because they have to do it through policies. If you're not looking well, you say, oh, okay, this is just, they're just doing it. No, every policy is intentional and is to make you go deeper into slavery, into that thing that Ahmadu Bello said, that you will not be in control of your future, you will not be in control of your destiny. Somebody has to decide for you. Why? Because of resource control. You're sitting on the ground full of resources. So you have to be controlled. Your hands have to be tied at the back, your leg tied together, your brain covered and tied and brainwashed through religion, so that they can have access to the resources in your land. Meanwhile, the social influencers will be singing for you and dancing for you, shaking butts and shaking breasts, and you get hallucinated and you are looking like moron, and you're moronically looking, and the more you look, the less you see, because they have made you to become a moron. Your brain is you're just hallucinating, just looking, and everything, nothing is making sense to you. It's all orchestrated. It's all planned. So they continued By the time they feel that 1979 is the potency of 1979 Constitution is losing the strength, they brought 1999, the one that now tied us the remaining place. We are crying that we are tied by 1979. They now brought 1999 Constitution, which is the victory charter over Nigeria complete. 1979 is victory charter, but the 1999 was now the one that finished it. It's like complete. We are now tied in 68 or 98 points. It's finding when you are just tying your hand and your leg. Now they've tied every inch, every organ in your hand. They will tie the wrist, the arm, the forearm. If your leg, every bit is tied. What's the essence? So that you will never be in charge of your destiny. You will never be in charge of your future and present. So they can continue to steal your resources. So it's simple. So how do we get to freedom? You see, freedom comes from responsibilities. Adults, human beings, the way God created you, He created you to take charge. He created you to take responsibility. Some people want to take charge, but they don't want to be responsible. Hey, I'm the governor. I'm the senator. I'm the president. But you're not being responsible. Because when you're responsible, you will begin to work. At home, when you say, who is responsible for washing plates? Somebody wants to be Oga. Okay, it's good to be Oga. But if you become Oga and the things that needs to be done are not done, the whole house will collapse. So in wanting to take charge, the only way you can take charge is by being responsible. If there's need to wash plate, you wash plates. If there's need to sweep house, you sweep house. If there's need to wash clothes, you wash clothes. That is what it means to take charge. That is how you begin to get your freedom.
Our own taking charge is siren, making siren noise and paying flavor to sing with your name.
It's horrible, which is why we come here every day to teach our people, because we want to see change. We want you to be a change maker. Yes, you watching us, you listening to us. Yes, you. You think you're too small. Oh, you're not educated enough. That's a lie. You don't need education, Western education, to do this thing we are saying. Western education might help you, but I'm telling you, education generally is to improve your brain, critical thinking. And do you know what? Those that speak
from your baseline, that's if you have any, right? Then it will improve.
Yes. I was trying to discuss Igbo language with my children the other day, telling them how you have ekwe, ite. I say, it's by the time you know how to speak Igbo language, your brain will begin to function in a critical way, because you'll be able to know ite, eke. Which one am I supposed to use? Ike Chukwu or Ike Chukwu? Which one? You have to be intelligent to be able to speak Igbo language. So if it comes to developing your brain, it's not until you know how to speak English before you be able to think critically. Our mothers in the village that are doing business, some of them think more critically than our so-called politicians. So we are not talking about being able to speak English. Being able to speak English is just ability to acquire a language. Just being proficient in a language.
Just a means of communication, that's it.
Yes, it's not a show of your IQ. Saying this, we are trying to empower our people, for them not to be intimidated by people that speak too much English. The only reason we speak English is right now, that's the only way we can communicate with you. If not, I want to be talking to you in Igbo language. However, we need to talk. But there are people that want to come and mesmerize you with their skill, their English speaking skill.
Good command of English language.
Exactly. They said she speaks it like the queen. Who wants to speak like the queen? I want to just talk to my people and understand what I'm saying. Not for me to emulate queen. Is queen my mother? No. I want to copy my mother, not queen. However, where we found ourselves is that this is our lingua franca. So we are using it to talk to our people. But what we will not want is people come in the name of, I'm a professor, I'm a doctor, I'm this, and start bamboozling our people with English language. Say it straightforward the way our people will understand it. My people say, If you want to lie, that's when you start speaking English.
My dear, let me give you a funny story. This week, one of the congressmen that won a recent election lied on his resume here in America.
Okay.
You know what his people, they want the fake media that reports it. You will never believe this. I was telling my daughter, she said, Mommy, that has to be a lie. They say that the guy that lied about the way he schooled, his resume, everything he has done, that he embellished his resume. Okoyibo.
When you hear embellished, you think it's one fantastic thing that he did to
You
his
think
resume.
he's wearing lipstick and earring and everything else making noise. No, he embellished his CV. That's how they minimize it. I promise you, if it was a black person that have done that, Jesus Christ, my dear, they will find all the demonic words to describe it. But no, because he's the other kind of guy, they say he embellished his CV. Ah, so sad. Go ahead, my dear.
So our people, freedom comes with responsibilities. The people need to take charge of their space. You came from somewhere, that's why you are indigenous from there. Your ancestors lived there, and when they finished, they handed it over to you. That's what makes you indigenous. You are on your ancestral land. Your language, your culture, everything will be the same in that land where you stay. Everybody on that particular land, in that territory, will be speaking the same language. That's your ancestral land. There might be different dialects of the language, but it's the same, basically the same. Yoruba, they have different dialects of Yoruba language, but the whole territory, they speak Yoruba. You won't see anybody saying, I'm speaking Fufude. No, they speak Yoruba on that land. That is how the entire world, UN, we know that you are ancestral to that land. In line with the language of your ancestors, the practice, the culture of your ancestors, the way they wear clothes, the way they eat food, all that thing will be together in that space of land, and it will have a territory and it will have a mark. It will be, that is not confusing. So the people need to take charge of that space anywhere you are. There's a time we did it in this program. We say we call Garden of Eden, your own Garden of Eden. I tell people I like reading Bible because I get insight into everything that has happened in the whole world and is still happening. God created Adam and Eve and put them in Garden of Eden. The earth was big. Why did he put them and plant them inside Garden of Eden? Because he wanted them to have a land that they are indigenous, the land where they are planted. And he said, take charge of this land. Take care of this land. The plants, everything in it, take care of it. You are the farmer here. You are the owner of this land here. Take care of it for me. And that's how you are indigenous where you are. You find out that the people that are going around killing others are not indigenous anywhere. Because if you are indigenous, you will stay there and take care of where you are. But the only reason you're going to kill people, displace them, put them in IDP camp, and put yourself is because you're not indigenous anywhere. So the greatest enemy to those who seek self-determination is fear and ignorance. If you do not understand why you are indigenous to where you are or where your space is, how do you take charge of it? You see, you'll be ignorant. And then even when you now know, you'll be afraid that they will kill you. Who kills who wants to sweep his house? You want to take responsibility to sweep your area and keep it clean. Who will come and kill you? Fear must be banished through enlightenment. That's why we come here to tell our people. You need meetings. When you learn from here, we have platforms where people ask questions also. You go and teach your people, enlighten your people. Because it's only enlightened people that can be free. If you do not know, you will not be free and you will continue to be in bondage. So you need to know. And then after knowing, you need to be bold to look at those enslaving you and say, no, you can't do this anymore. If you don't have information, you can't resist those that are enslaving you. You see, we use the word resistance because when you have known the truth, that's the only time you'll be able to stand and resist the people that are enslaving you. Why are they enslaving you? And when we talk of people enslaving you, that includes politicians, religious leaders, fake church leaders, social influencers, fake traditional rulers. These are the part of those that are enslaving you, because they are agents of the external colonizer. They are the agents. They work together hand in hand. And you know what? The only reason they try to enslave you is because they feel inferior to you. They feel inferior to you. So there's what you call inferiority complex. That is what leads to insecurity. And then the person that is feeling insecure will not look for how to enslave the other man. If you're confident in yourself, why do you want to enslave your neighbor? You will be in your land taking care of yourself and your children, but you're not confident. You feel inferior already. You have inferiority complex. That's why you want to impose yourself on others. That's why you want to enslave others. Only inferior people have the need to enslave others. If you are confident in yourself, you will be in your land taking care of your resources. You will not be walking up and down looking for people's resources to steal, looking for how to kill people and steal their resources. And you know the other people that are more inferior, the people that are worse than these other ones that are enslaving you, are the people that sell out their own people for money.
And we have a whole lot of them.
And we have a whole lot of them. They make wealth from the insecurity of their people. Look at what is happening in Southeast. We were here for 2 years warning our people. Like we said, we were in IPOB. When we heard their noise, we thought they were sincere. We thought they were ready to get freedom for our people. We joined them. And like we are, like you know, when we tell you, when we join anything, we don't stay behind. We go to the front. We keep moving because we are sincere in what we want. We want better life for our people. So we cannot be contributing money and not find out what you're doing with the money. That's impossible. That's not who we are. When we give you our money, we want to know what you're doing with it. We will ask you questions. And that's what we did in IPOB. We became leaders, getting inside so that we can get in to know where we will change things and make things to happen. That's when we found out that the so-called person they put in charge of their affairs,
waiting to reduce our land to Somalia. That was the strategy.
That was his aim. That he was not out to give our people freedom. He was not out to give our people liberty. Rather, he wanted to build gangsters, cults, and use them to conquer our people the third time. How many times are they going to conquer you, Ndibu? How many times we nitwits, people without brain, criminals, common criminals, how many times will common criminals conquer you, Ndibu? The great Ndibu. Because it's
and the World Igbo Congress that consists of so-called professors and who is who.
Yeah, husband.
Yeah, so they have Professor Geoffrey Kosnahe again, the professor of animal husbandry.
Okay,
my dear, that one he knows. We gave him first-hand information of what was true. But he wanted fame. He wanted
fame
to be
and money. Fame and money. Because the next thing he did was to bring accounts.
Yes.
The next thing he did with the information that we gave to him was to bring out a video and attach accounts. And we started calling him. Hey, stop.
Criminals.
Where are you going with this?
Criminals. When I tell you they're here in diaspora trying to come back home and launch their house and tell you I have made money, that's all they have for you. They don't care for your freedom. Tell them that I said it.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello?
I think we're back here. Exactly. So these are inferior and miserable people. These people that are ready to use the pain and sorrow of their people to make money and fame. They are not just inferior, they are also miserable, because you have to be miserable, miserably poor in your brain and character to want to make money from the pain of your people. We said that these internal colonizers are already coming to destroy our people. what you can do is to quickly make money from the situation. And you know what? They also die miserably. Because those that use them to bring insecurity to our land, those that use them do not trust them as well. So eventually they kill them. And that's what is happening. And that's where again, that's why in Igbo, you have different gangs because it's about money making. So, and when they feel threatened, they begin to kill themselves. And those that send them also will kill them. The politicians that send them, because they are just political bandits. You know, they were preparing themselves, waiting for this time of this election because they know it to be heated. So they can use it to make money. And they hired assassins. They hired them to kill their political opponents. They are not looking for freedom. It's not about freedom. It is not at all. We were there. We saw that they were not going towards freedom. We pulled out immediately and began to warn our people. We did not pull out and keep quiet. We pulled out and began immediately to warn our people.
Yep. And
That's
that
why-
threats.
Yes.
Lots of threats, and it didn't stop us in the face of all their shenanigans.
No, it didn't. They started threatening us. So that's when we changed from Biafra Women's Show to Daughters of Truth. Because we said that it's only truth that will save our people. It's only truth that will deliver our people. So if you don't know the meaning of Daughters of Truth and you find yourself associating with Daughters of Truth, please go and read your document so that you understand where we're going. We want to restore the dignity of our people using truth, not lie, not dishonesty, not playing under the table. Oh no, I don't want to be part of what is going on. No, I'm under the table. Then your children will die. If you are a mother, especially from Igbo land, and you have given birth to even just one child, it is your responsibility to make sure that the land is safe for your children. Stop playing around like fools. We are not fools. Igbo women are not fools. When we give birth, we protect our children. We also protect our husbands. We protect our brothers. We protect our fathers. That's who we are. It's just that we use sense, we use wisdom to do it. So begin to acquire that wisdom because we are not waiting. The old mother just had a declaration a few weeks ago. That is what we do. We use sense to preserve our land. So those that are sabotaging our genuine freedom efforts, they are inferior and miserable. They are helping the enemy to continue to hold us in the slave. The politicians, people like P2B, when Ninas has done constitutional force majeure to liberate the people, to give them a better arrangement for existence in this geographical space. P2B say, I will make sure I keep the 1999 constitution and I will drag everybody around to put them inside it to make sure they don't escape. These people are not just inferior, they're also miserable because you must be miserable to want to continue to enslave your people. No matter how you think you are, you're a miserable person and you will die miserably because
Amen.
the earth will not forgive you for what you're doing. So there is what you call the mandates, skill, and wisdom for self-determination. We told you about self-determination. The United Nations said is the people's right. It is your right. You don't. What it means is that you don't beg for it. You don't say UNO, give me freedom or freedom. No, you don't beg US. You don't beg UK. You don't beg anybody. You don't beg Fulani. You don't beg Nigeria to give you self-determination. It is your right. However, you need the skill and the wisdom to exercise that right. It's not something you just wake up without training, without any information. You jump on the road. I want to get freedom. Then you will die miserably. So it is important to discover the one with the mandate, skill, and wisdom for self-determination. It's already going on. Everybody cannot do it. I hear people say every road leads to Aba. Every road cannot lead to Aba. If your journey has no direction, then you don't have a destination. You get lost in evil forest. It's like when you're following GPS. Some places when they build road, it might take you to wrong road. When he said end of the road. If you go forward, you enter inside Ivo Forest or river, because things have changed and you did not update your map. Because you expected, especially if you have the type of one that they use currently, you update the map from time to time. It will give you updated road map. But if you are using the old road map, your GPS will GPS you into a river.
Mm-hmm.
Without
Mine
you
just died. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with GPS.
So it's important to discover those that have the mandate and the skill and wisdom to get what we want. And then begin to follow simple instruction, life-saving directives. For instance, we'll give you an example. In South Africa, the apartheid was in South Africa. For them to abolish apartheid, they had a strategy and they worked at it for about 28 years. The entire struggle was up to 80 years. That's when initially, like the first 50 years, they were just killing people, doing all this nonsense that we hear them, until two lawyers, Nelson Mandela and Oliver Tambo, sat down to study what is really going on. That's when they understood that it was the apartheid constitution that was holding them down. Since then, they changed their way of fight. They began to engage intellectually. They began to lobby. They began to have conversations, have discussions, be on the table, talk with the people, because they're human beings. I tell my brothers, I said, those enslaving you are men like you. If a woman writes something on the platform, you start shouting, who is writing? Who is writing? But the people enslaving you, whether Hausa, Fulani, or whether Britain, whether US, whether anywhere, colonial masters, they are men. They are not hermaphrodites. They are men like you. So you ask yourself, what do they have that you don't have? This is why we're telling about it. It's not about making noise. You need to understand what is going on. It's brain work. In this 21st century, self-determination, you get it through brain work. So we look at abolition of slavery. We've heard about the slavery, how they moved our people from our land to US, to UK, all that, even Arab. How did they succeed in abolishing it? Because it was on for centuries, for years. They were selling our people. But the time came, it was abolished. So that we are under the slavery of Nigeria. It doesn't mean that it cannot end. It can end, but you have to understand how others did it so that you can follow. There's a process. For the slave trade, they even had organizations. Am I still coming up? They had organizations. It's called the abolitionists. They had organizations. They put organizations in place, set up committees, people that are organizing what you call the Underground Railroad to help the slaves to escape before the abolition was complete. These people dedicated themselves to helping the slaves to escape bondage. They also have the people we call the conductors of the Underground Railroad. Go and study it, watch movies so that you understand. It was organized. It was not done haphazardly. It was not done anyhow. The bravest conductors were the ones that would steal slaves directly from plantations right under the eye of the people that are watching them. That's how they worked hard. Women were even involved also. So you need skills. That's what we're saying. Because our evil people that are evil, will not want you to go free. That is why you need skills. You need strategy. It's not something you just get by shouting or begging them to give you. No. The evil people will not want you to be free. Americans worked so hard to stop slavery that they even went for civil war. They went to fight civil war just to end slavery. Let's end it. Some people say, no, we must not end it. People that were benefiting from this transatlantic slave trade refused to abolish it. Those that were fighting to abolish it, they had to go to war. The type of war that Biafrans fought when they tried to end feudalism and colonialism. Because that's why they were killing our people. They said, we're going to end it. They were defending themselves. That type of war. But today, we are fighting differently. We don't want to use arms. There's no need to use that. There's no need. There are many ways to kill a rat. We keep telling our people, there are many ways to kill a rat. Because when you have an open war, you destroy, there'll be casualty. We have not even finished recovering our land from the Biafra genocide. There's no need for full-blown open war. But there are many ways to stop the evil people. Many ways, if you can use your brain. Many ways. That's what we talk about, skills and wisdom. You have to balance it. It's not just about having skills. You must have the wisdom to operate with those skills so that you quarantine your enemy in one corner. Your enemy is like cancer, scattered everywhere. So you mop the cancer cells together, quarantine them in one area. If you now want to use radiotherapy, you can now use radiotherapy to get them out. But you need to mop them together. Otherwise, there will be chaos everywhere. NINAS does not want chaos everywhere. And that is why NINAS, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, that's the meaning of it. They are leading in the fight against feudalism and colonialism through intellectual and spiritual weaponry, also democratic tools and technology. These things are available to us in this present time. So that's why we use them. If you don't kill the snake will not stop biting the people. And we have told you that that snake, in the case of Nigeria, is the 1999 Constitution. Stop killing your neighbors. Stop destroying properties. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. The enemy, the Leviathan, the snake that is biting the people, that needs to be killed, is 1999 Constitution. Not your neighbor. Not your neighbor. And you know what? Somebody will say, so who brought the 1999 Constitution? How did we get here? We have, thank God, we have a full confession of Professor Ben Nwabweze. So on our he started telling us. He had a press conference. That was as far back as 2013, my people. 2013. The people that cooked up this 1999 Constitution made a declaration, called a press conference to say this is what we did, to confess. So you told the story of how they did it, why they did it. How did they create this monstrous center to swallow up over 300 ethnic nations, stealing their resources, stealing their sovereignty? They said they thought they wanted to get united, they wanted to unite Nigeria. Do you unite people by enslaving them? Taking everything in their possession, anything they have, cutting their arms and their legs, and tie them together and say you want to unite them under gun. Who does that? Because we have people that shout, let the youth read, let the youth lead. It's not about yet letting youth lead. Nwabweze, when he did what he did, he was a youth. He was young. But it's even more dangerous because when they are young and poor, you can give them money for them to do what they want them to do. So it's not about being young and being a youth. A youth, do you have sense? It's like the program interview that we had with last week. When you see youths that have not combed their hair, looking like mad people, asking stupid questions. The way they are talking, you know that they can't think because the ganja they are smoking will not even allow them to think. Them urumiri that drink it wherever they find themselves will not even allow them to understand what you're saying. They can't even critically think in order to ask an intelligent question. So it's not about youth. The youth need to be informed. That's why we do what we're doing. Come and learn. Sit yourself down and read. If you can't read, watch videos. So don't be a dangerous youth. and sell your whole people like Ben Nwabeze did. He brought people with different core values and worldview. Some are feudalists, Sharia people, monarchs, Republican. Like my sister said, bring go green or one everything, mix it together and tie the people, close the container, check it. And that's why United Nations said that the 1999 Constitution is pressure cooker for injustice. It's going to explode one day because nobody does that. They created monster, what we call Ojuju. Remember in those days, want to scare a child, say, Ojuju will catch you. They created a monster. They created darkness that swallowed Nigeria. He's now in his 90s, and he does not want to come out to be part of the people that will solve this problem. His children are hiding him under the table, enjoying the wealth that he got from selling his people. He was rewarded. For those that are asking, oh, was he rewarded? He was rewarded. He was made the chairman of Union Bank, a classroom teacher, a young lawyer. All of a sudden became chairman of Union Bank. Not you asking, what did you sell? What did your forefathers sell? What did your father sell?
He sold his people now, so he sold something.
And he was in charge of Ohaneze for 23 years. This Ohaneze that just got the heads decapitated. President, deputy, everybody dying. Don't you ask yourself a question? Ben Nwabeze was in charge of it for 23 years. The think tank of Ndibu. That's why we now produced criminals, selfish old men that will never repent to be the ones that will make decisions about our destiny and our future. It meant nothing for them because all their own is for their own private own. Once they settle them, they settle their children, and then somebody will say, he's doing good for himself. Since he became a governor, he's now the richest man in Africa. Since he became a senator, being a politician is the best lucrative thing that anybody can do. Whether you're a doctor, engineer, whatever, you just want to be a politician. That's how you become rich. And everybody is killing everybody to become a politician. They sold Ndibu, put the change inside their pockets. And somebody will say, what can we do? What can we do? This Ben Nwabeze that we're saying, by the time our people came in 2023, trying to fix the problem, what did he do? He derailed the confab. That's when he made that declaration. That's when he granted that press conference. He derailed Goodluck that was taking risk. Because sometimes people say, oh, Goodluck came, he tried to change the constitution. No, he didn't have the willpower to do it. No, that's not the truth. Goodluck had the willpower to do everything, but your people derailed it. Your people, yes, that will not want that constitution to go down. They derailed it. Everything cannot be politics. Life, saving life cannot be politics. We share something, some people say, oh, don't bring politics here. This is not politics. This is life. We are saving life. We are about to be exterminated. Somebody will say, what we are making out from the full confession of Professor Ben Nwabeze, for those that want to go and read it, what we are making out is that he now agrees with what Ninas is saying. When he said, one cardinal flaw in 1999 Constitution is the concentration of powers in the center. He has agreed with Ninas that he created a monster, that this is not the people's constitution. There's no way the people will make a constitution that ties them hand, leg, and tail, everything. It's not possible. Nwabeze created the monster. Let people go and meet him. Say, Papa, before you die, come and undo what you did. Or at least join hands with people that are working to undo the evil. Those that are listening, you watch this thing, they shared it recently. If you look at it, he said that he took away, he agreed, this is Nwabueze confessing, he took away everything from the people and handed them over to the center. He took all the resources, power, everything from the indigenous peoples and handed over to the center. He is not agreeing. That's what he did. Creating almighty federal government that is ready to swallow everyone. By what he did, he trapped everyone inside an evil box and handed the key over to Fulani Caliphate and Britain. That's what he did. Those calling for true federalism, he said, are right. He now understands. But many people have died and people are still dying now that Nwabueze has realized what he did. Nigeria, the problem of Nigeria is fundamental. It's not change of president. That's why we say there is a union dispute. Let's stop. Let's stop and fix it. Sorry that we are taking extra time. We don't want to break this into two. We just want to finish it and we will understand where we're going. So please bear with us as we try to pieces it for us. The source of authority, Nwabueze said, is the problem. Because he understands the sovereignty has been taken away from the people and given to the enemy. He says that the content of the constitution is a problem. It's fraudulent. He said it's not a matter of National Assembly. He said that National Assembly will not fix this problem. Go and read it. This is his confession. Not me saying it. This is Nwabueze saying it. The National Assembly cannot fix it. Does this statement not make the three presidential candidates liars and accomplices in the destruction of the people? Because they are saying, oh, because they heard Ninas making noise about constitution. They say, oh, when we get in, vote us in. When you vote us in, then we go to National Assembly and beg them to change it. Nwabueze that created the constitution said National Assembly cannot change it. It's not a matter of, because he's a lawyer. It's not a matter of National Assembly. It's a fraud against the people. He took away power and sovereignty from the people. So the first thing you need to do is to give back the sovereignty to the people. P2B is telling people that he will ensure, he's promising the Fulani, he said that he will ensure that nobody will escape from this prison. He will drag everybody into it. Go now, the videos are there. As Daughters of Truth, that's what we are, Daughters of Truth. We don't carry propaganda. We tell you what it is, you go and verify. There is victory over Ahmadu Bello mission statement. The victory has been achieved. It's just the people are following those that are enslaving them and listening to them, rather than embrace their victory. My sister will always say, your Christmas package is in front of your door. Embrace it, pick it, unwrap it, and see what is inside. Stop listening to those that are lying to you. So the alliance of the indigenous people is the first step. All the ethnic nations have come together. All the people that say life is sacrosanct. All the people that say no need to enslave other people. Those that have common core values that say that all men are born equal, that you do not need to enslave another one in order to prosper. They came together and united themselves and say, we are Ninas, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. So after PRONACO, the declaration of 2006, Kofi Annan was the one that helped. That PRONACO declaration, because people have been saying, what has the Ninas been doing? Briefly, I will just give you briefly run through it. After PRONACO that ended in 2006, they moved to national level, the international level, and made UN pass what you call the 2007 United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Kofi Annan was the secretary then. That's one of the legacy that he will leave, that we will continue to live to remember what he did. Wole Soyinka was part of that. Tony Nahoro. All these are men that thought they were building one Nigeria, and they realized that no, it's not one Nigeria. This is a trap. And they said that sovereignty belongs to the people. UN has declared that is the people's right. So those of you that are shouting UN has done what they need to do. They tied the making of constitution to self-determination, because you have to own a land before you can say how the government will operate. And that is through the constitution. Then you have to get your right first, exercise your rights as a people. You are the owner of the land. Nobody else will impose their constitution on you. Not military, not Fulani, not Britain. No, it is your land. As a result of this declaration, the people now went ahead to have what you call solemn assemblies in our own region, which is the Lower Niger area. That's not the name of the nation. It's just an area, description of an area. We had our own solemn assembly in 2015. Middle Belt had their own in 2018. Yoruba had their own in 2017. Middle Belt had their own in 2018. Because this is the process that the UN has put on the ground that you will follow if you need self-determination. And then in 2015 also, our team made appearance in US Congress in order to educate the international community, the nations, on what we are doing, so they will understand it and be part of what is going on. After that appearance in 2018, they did in Lagos what you call Freedom Park Joint Declaration to say, this is it. We have been, this constitution is tying us down and we are free from it. We will not accept this constitution as the basis for ruling us anymore. After that declaration, they made their appearance in Washington, D.C. January 17th to July 2019. They were there for a period of 7 months in discussing and with the people, this part of stakeholders, because these people own the resources in our land. So we don't want them to misunderstand what we're trying to do. So they discussed with them for a period of 7 months for them to interrogate the plan, and it made sense to them. By that singular move, they have dislodged the Fulani British people that have been lobbying America. And if you remember then, President Trump made certain declaration and made certain comment. Because of time, we don't want to go into it, because 1 hour is not enough for us to break down some of these things. But for you to know that work is going on. For you to end 200 years life trauma, it takes process. And that process has been going on for 20 years. We are in the final phase, like we keep saying. And we will give you evidence, videos, and everything that was done. What it means now, we have instruments to determine, to exercise, to enforce our rights. That's what it means. Because and you don't climb the tree empty-handed too. So we have empowered ourselves with all the instruments that is made available at the international standard. That's the work that NINAS has done, so that they don't kill you anymore. Those that say, hey, well, why will Tony be in Nigeria and saying it? Because we have empowered ourselves with the rights, with the things that you need to, because it follows a process. Both at the local and at the international level, it has all been done. It is no more a privilege, it is a right. So we are not begging. It is our right. All we need to do is to organize ourselves and take responsibility and take charge. That's what we're supposed to do. That's victory has been won over the Ahmadu Bello mission statement. This framework that we are talking about, when you just place it, the NINAS framework, place it on the table. it will help you to get what you need to get. When the external people, the international stakeholders see it on your table, they come to you, because to them, you now understand what is going on, and you have come of age to be on the table for discussion. You going for this 2023 election shows that you have not understood.
Yep. You're enjoying your enslavement.
You are enjoying your enslavement, and you are giving them the power to continue to enslave you. And you are crying, oh, I want good governance. If you want good governance, end the slavery. You cannot get good governance while you are still in the plantation camp. The slaves in America, while in plantation, they did not have good governance, and it will not come, because it's a slave camp. If you want good governance, you have to plan to leave the slave camp first. End slavery, then good governance can come, not before. If not, you're deceiving yourself and you're deluding yourself. You only continue to deceive yourself, like people did in Anambra State. Hey, Professor Soludo. Now you're calling him empty professor, stupid professor. But we warned you that so far any politician swears to uphold that 1999 constitution, what he's saying is that everything that is inside it, I will do it. That's what Peter is telling you again. That's what he's promising the Fulani people. And we call all these people willing tools, Judas goats. All the people dragging our people, rather than free them from this document that is tying them down, they are dragging them more and more inside it. Obasanjo is the head slave. He's the main one that they use since 1979. You're asking yourself, why is he becoming president or military, civilian? Because he's the only one that can put everybody into that slave and tie us down. And then after a while, he will now go and write a book and say prayer book. After tying you down, prayer book for you to be praying. Has he not told you what he did? He tie you down inside cave, lock you up, and say, this is prayer. You better be praying. Take prayer book. You need prayer to come out of this thing that I put you inside. You ask yourself, why is Obasanjo writing prayer book? Because you need prayer to come out of what he has put you inside. Willing to.
Hi, can you imagine? It's like the devil writing the strategy for you to get out of his apartment.
That's the level of deception now. After killing you, he will write prayer book to you. And you are celebrating. Ewo. Obasanjo is a Christian. I remember when, is it Don Juan or whatever visited? Yeah, he was showing the video. Okay, I went to see I went to see the president. He's a Christian. So all these are willing tools. Nwabweze, Ben Nwabweze, Peter Obi, all the southern politicians, they are all willing tools being used by the enemy. They don't want to free their people. They want their people to continue to be enslaved. So, and it is your responsibility, you, the people, you need to take utmost responsibility of your future and charge of your space. The final defeat is the Constitutional Force Majeure that was done on the 16th of December 2020. We have defeated the enemy. We have killed the serpent. But some people are going there to give the serpent some selling water to resuscitate the serpent that is on the ground dead. It is your responsibility to master the 5-point agenda, my sister will say to you, of Ninas, so that you understand where we're going. Get your people educated on self-determination and the process. Educate the masses in your family, in your town hall, in your village, in your church, everywhere you go. Educate on education. That is the mobilization that Ninas wants. Begin to rebuild the destroyed foundation in your area, in your zone. We are not rebuilding Nigeria. We are rebuilding Nigerians. The people that we are destroyed, raped, bastardized, we are trying to rebuild them because they only think like slaves now. So we want to rebuild them. We want to mold them back. That's where we're going. So begin that work in your neighborhood. It's a new relationship. Your neighbors will have eventually chart of relationship and all this. So what we are doing is independent of what the politicians are doing. Those that keep us saying, oh, what is the Ninas? Who are you supporting? Are you people crazy? What we are doing is parallel. We are rebuilding the people The politicians are making sure that the cage is held, the slave cage, that it doesn't, nothing happens to it. The people that have been destroyed and bastardized, they are the ones we are rebuilding. And my sister will continue from here, because you need to understand your ultimate responsibility. What you need to understand it very well. Please go ahead, my sister. Sorry that I took so much time.
No, that's okay. Sometimes you have to take that much time for things to make sense, because we do understand that Nigeria has happened to you guys. So you are wounded. I know you look whole, because that's one of the issues that we have with our stroke patients. Stroke will happen in the brain and cause a havoc. I typically explain it as earthquake to the brain. And when people look at you from the outside, you're looking okay, and they really think you're okay. They don't know that you are falling apart. Even mere looking at people going back and forth will cause you to have to take a long nap to recover from it. So we understand the damage that has been done to our people, and that's why we are here every Saturday trying to bring you guys the information that you need to get over this. So don't be hard on yourself. Just be truthful and intentional, and want to know how to get out of this mess that you find yourselves in. So, like my sister was saying, we want you guys to avoid going to the public to destroy properties or even street protests that has nothing to do with any so-called fake country that you think that is coming to you. Because anything that you destroy is something else that we have to rebuild. There are other ways we can get this done. The work has been done. And one of our brothers will say, come out from the forest. We understand the devastation that these people have caused in our land. We understand that the youth are so disenfranchised, they don't know what to do. They think it's doing the wrong thing that will help them. Every day we are watching our young boys, our young men be killed like an animal. And we're saying avoid crimes and risking being shot by the Nigerian government. They will come for you. This thing was orchestrated by someone that is hanging out in DSS lounge that makes so much money and want to reduce our land to Somalia. We warned you guys, we told you guys. It is time for us to take ultimate responsibility of our space, our future, and everything else around us. If not for anything, like I always say, for the sake of our children. Do not worry about what will compel Nigeria to stop. At the end of the day, they will destroy themselves. They are not capable. It's someone that is empowering them. People like the politicians that is telling them, I will make Nigeria what it's not. I will bring economic power back to Nigeria. And we're telling you, with the constitution, no economic power will change your condition. The situation is so dire that even Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the one that you guys believe in, the one that you fast onto, the one that you pray upon and call upon, he is not able to help you with the current constitution that you have, that we must change. And Ninas, through their marvelous Jesus unending job, have come up with 5-point proposition on how this can be done. It's not that complicated, my people. It is not that complicated. I keep explaining this as a case of you coming to the door. You don't even know that the door is open. You're there, unlocked. You're there outside, freezing to death, not knowing that all you have to do is touch down the knob and you will get into a house that is warm. The job has been done. So in this proposition, we are advocating there's an acknowledgement of grave constitutional grievances raised in the union dispute. We mentioned this in our constitutional force majeure. We want an express commitment, because every time people get confused, they're like, oh, I know what Nina is. Oh, I have Tony's phone number. I spoke to Tony yesterday. I'm from everyone. Oh, yeah, the other day I talked to him about Natanga. And you ask them what this Nina is saying, they don't know. But they know who Tony is and they have his phone number. That's all we are getting. And these are professors. So some of them are professors of animal husbandry, cat husbandry, dog husbandry. They're there answering professors. They still do not understand this 5-point proposition, which we are going to use it from now on to end our show so that it will sink in, because it looks like it's not sinking in. You guys are not getting what we're saying that you should do. By the way, it's a good idea now to take a picture on your cell phone so that maybe after the show, you can literally start down and read it one by one so that it can sink in. We are on the third one, line 3. We want an express commitment to shelve further national elections under the 1999 Constitution in order to initiate an immediate transitioning process for fresh constitutional protocols. We are not asking you to reconstruct and deconstruct and mandate and renew and touch up and this. That. No, we're saying that we want you guys to shelve further national elections because nothing will change that. When they win, Jesus Christ of Nazareth would uphold the Constitution. So
Can I
that's
ask,
not going
ask
anywhere.
something, please?
Yes, yes.
So this is different from those that try to destroy properties and say they want to stop election. You're stopping the election, destroying land and lives and killing people for what to happen. You see, there's no process.
Right.
It's totally different from what Ninas is doing.
Please, thank you so much for
Please.
clarifying that. Thank you.
Ninas is saying, let's stop this in order for us to put, there's no vacuum. We hold on this so that we can put transitional government in place like they did in South Africa. Because it doesn't make sense that somebody will, you people are wasting money and energy so that at the end, the person will rule you with the same constitution that we have all rejected, that does not make sense, that we did not make, that it was imposed. It's exercise in futility. It does not make sense. The whole world are watching us and say, are Nigerians stupid? Don't they have sense? So it doesn't make sense. We're saying, let's stop this. We're not saying burn down houses and properties. We're saying, let's stop this. There are many ways to compel people to do the right thing. Let's stop this so we can go into transition and rework. So we can rework our terms of union or no union, depending on the referendum. What the referendum, the people will decide. The 300 ethnic nations will decide. We are not saying we're going to have 300 nations. That's not what we are saying, because some people like confusing people.
Right.
We are saying they have right. According
they
to
will have a voice. Yes.
Yes, they have a voice. Even if they are 100 in number, they have a voice. They have, and it's their right to say, this is who I am, which is my identity. I want to associate with A and B under these terms and tam. It's as simple as that. Please get it straight. Thank you. Please go ahead, my sister.
My dear, thank you so much. Because now some people will say, oh yeah, Nina says stop election. The criminals all over this thing will say there will be no election in our land. That is not what we're doing. We are not in line at all. That those people are in the abandoned camp. They are in the abandoned camp. So do not listen to anything they are telling you. All they're doing is fundraising and wanting chaos and mayhem in our land. Like my sister rightfully said, when we do all of this, it is so that there will be an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangement, including mandate time frame, membership, and ancillary matters. So when we allow all this, if you see, it went line by line, there's the first one, the second one, the third one. These things are like pointing to each other. When we do the first one, it will now lead us to the second part, will now lead us to the third part. And then that invitation, when we hold the election, we send that invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to come and say, hey, have a voice in how you want to be part of this new territory or new nation or whatever you want to call it. And as soon as that is done, there will be an announcement of a time bound. So it's not going to be open-ended. Like I would tell a lot of my patients, you don't go to school and not have a time you're going to graduate. You got to get about school fees. So it will be a time bound set up, two-stage transitional process, which are in the first stage future multi-regional referendums by which the constituent components will then say, hey, I want to continue this marriage of this guy that punches me on the face every day, or I want to leave. I don't want to be killed because I want to just leave. Even if I'm not attacking in the morning, I want to be able to leave and go break my kernel nut and eat it in the morning. And then in the second part, we distill terms of election of the union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. So it's not what is the word I'm trying to do? It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated, that this thing has been done. It has been set in motion on how the first one will now lead us to the second, to the third, and people's lives will be preserved. We don't want any bloodshed. Even our enemies, even the Fulanis, we don't want anybody to be killed. Sit in your territory. Let me sit in my territory and live my life with the people that think the way that I think. It's not that complicated. As we're sitting here You don't hear about war in Saudi Arabia. You don't hear about war in Emirates. But they are telling you to believe in something and be killing your people that look like you. To what end? As we're saying, it's important for every one of us to understand this 5-point proposition. This is a summary of it. We will share this information. Take a picture with your cell phone, take a screenshot so that you can begin to read it as you go around this Christmas holiday. Share with others. I know you guys are in a festive mood. People are drinking, having fun. We want to do more than having fun for our children. Our children deserve better. They really, really deserve better. And we have to, it takes work, and the work has been done. What we need to do is to open up the door and come into the warm house so that we don't get frostbite. Please, my people. I don't know how else to tell you guys this. Actually, if you this show was what we wanted to do last Saturday, but we had Brother Tony talking to our people last week, so we didn't get to do that. You know, we know that prior to that, the anniversary for constitutional force majeure happened, which again, some people will say, "Oh, so what will happen?" My dear, we will continue the campaign. The worst that can happen, you will continue to die. They will continue to kill you. The people that will loot the money and watch oil be taken out of your land and gold and every resource will be taken out of your land will be living their best life. They will pack money in their toilets and their storage room and it will decay while you die. That's what will happen. So we are here to say we don't want that for you. Let's work together and end this and create an environment that will provide us the meaningful change that we are looking for. On Tuesdays is our Twitter days. And all we want you to do on that day is to say Nina's is right. We even have a finger position now to tell you that, you know, even if you're doing this and walking around and telling people this or that, Nina's is right. Transition now. We stand with Nina's. Like we kept telling you, Jesus Christ of Nazareth will not even bring you the change that you want under this current 1999 Constitution. You can learn more about the work that we're doing on ninasvoice.org. You can also look at the daughtersofTruth.org. All these informations are there for you to do what? Insist on transition now and not selection, because that's what you're going for. On our uninformed youths and adults and even professors and all kinds of people that are, you know, bringing false information or thinking they can make enough noise. And when you try to engage these ignorant people, they will weigh you out with their ignorance. At the end of the day, we will all be bearing the brunt of the decisions that ignorant people made on our behalf. So we are saying no more. No more. Do the right thing. Build the right foundation so that we can move forward. 2023 is around the corner and time waits for nobody. So thank you guys so much. As usual, help us to share the continue to attack our page so that we don't get this information to our people. But as God will have it, people are getting the information one way or the other. But we want you to get the right information because our people are used to things that they don't know nothing about. They were making arguments about it. That's how we ended up with people supporting criminal leaders that want to bring them fake country that is never there for him to bring. And people were professors, sisters, reverend. Don't even think it's traders. Sisters and reverend and all of them, pastors, this one that are so enlightened, they know the Bible, they know the politics, they know everything. They are busy supporting our people to stay in blindness. Because while you're blind, you contribute to their benefits. Because as long as there are churches that for you to go to, their children will have lavish wedding and show you to you online. This is how they promote criminality for us. It used to be before when you're poor, you will be in the village, you don't know what's going on in the other town.
Yes.
So you will think everybody is poor. Your brain will allow you to manage it because you look around, everybody is poor.
Yes.
Now you will be poor. The pastor that you gave your last offering, the daughter will have the most. If he said Princess Charles and Diana, I don't even think their wedding will be up to that much. Thanks to your little change you hand to them. And they want you to watch that and stay in poverty. No, this will encourage them to go and get guns.
Yes.
To come after you because you are spending so much money on one wedding when they cannot feed their children breakfast or lunch or dinner.
Oh.
So you want them to sit in that poverty.
Mm.
The highlight online, highlight your dancing move with your daughter and all these things. You want them to enjoy that, and then they will go back to their hot house and be believing God. No,
Yes.
they will be believing in guns.
Yes.
Instead of God, they will believe in GUN, because they know that you are that wicked to spend this kind of money when they are dying of hunger. They will come for you.
I have not said anything about what is ailing them to help to
You have
end
not
this
said anything to what is ailing them. You're busy having the lavish wedding of the century.
Inviting all the president, past and present.
Yeah, that's the life you live in. They are deceiving you guys. They will continue to deceive you as long as you continue to be in their presence. They understand that if we have a functioning society, nobody will go to their churches.
Yep.
Nobody will go to their midweek service. Nobody will go to their praise and worship, because by the time you're off from your job, my dear, you'll be looking for bed to sleep. This great American country you're hearing about, if you see the way they work people, you work, that 2 days you have to run around, get grocery, cook, clean, and get ready for the other 5 days coming up. If you're lucky, if you get enough sleep. So you see, the only way out is the Ninas.
But at least you get your money, you earn your money to take care of your needs.
You earn your money to take
Not
care
that they will walk you around and steal your money and you have nothing in return.
No.
And they will show you how they stole your money and what they did with the money that they stole.
And you'll be thanking them. My pastor, big old boy, in a month, doing well. Hi. We have to do better, my dear. 2023 is around the corner. We have no time. People are going to the moon. They are thinking India has taken off. They are thinking about how to be superpower. And we're here asking you to wake up. You guys haven't even woken up from sleep.
And they're pretending to be sleeping, because it's very difficult to wake up somebody that is pretending to be asleep.
Yeah. So have a wonderful New Year. For New Year is tomorrow. Yes.
Yes.
Be safe, protect yourself, share this information. There are people who know that P2P is not our problem. Tinubu is not our problem. Atiku, what is our problem is that we want a foundation that you can thrive in.
Yes.
We don't want you to be surviving. We want you to thrive. So it has nothing to do with their political candidates. It has everything to do with the constitution of the nation. Yep. Don't get it twisted, okay? We are not your enemies. We are not any of that. We are mothers and no mother that feel that our children, our people especially, deserves better. And we have a way to give them that. So we are not going to relent until our people get better. Some people will die. Some people will be taken out. Some people will be in the forest and they will be chopped off and all kinds of stuff. Word without end will continue. I will continue insisting on the right thing to be done. Okay? All right. You have a wonderful day. Good seeing you. Bye-bye.